What's going on, everybody? Hope all is well. Hero Tyler back with an updated Pure E-Hero Neos deck profile. Figured I'd go ahead and get this out of the way, especially since we just got announced the new Flame Wingman Skydiving Scorcher, which is amazing, by the way. It's definitely what the Neos deck needed. We probably won't get it for a couple months or later on into next year, but without further ado, just going to go ahead and get into the profile. Playing one Stratos, and yes, you can play two. I've seen plenty of people do the two, but with my thoughts on the amount of a Hero Lives we're playing, the E-Calls, and then the Rhoda, definitely easy to search them out, so one's good. That way, we can have other essential cards in the deck. One Shadow Mist, we're not really, going for the mass change. Like I said, I've seen some decks where they play the masked hero, especially Dark Law, which nothing wrong with that. Just I wanted to keep this as pure E-Hero and Neos as possible. So pretty much, you can use her to dump with the E and Engage Neo space to get another search off of that. It's kind of usually what I do. And then the one Solid Soldier, there's like a play you can do with Prisma. We're obviously playing just one Prisma. Let's just say like you opened up with him, E-Call, and a Hero Lives. Obviously you're going to play your Hero Lives, get your Stratos out. You can search this or your Spirit of Neos or any other hero that you may need, like Blazeman, etc. But then you'll normal summon him, get the effect to special summon him, use his effect to copy any Neospatian or Elemental Hero Neospatian card, and then dump the Neospatian, and then you can link this with the Summon Stratos to make the Infernal Devicer, reveal the other two, and then, of course, you'll have all your materials either in your hand and in the graveyard to just keep playing on. The one Blazeman is pretty much your second poly searcher if you don't want to have to go through the whole Engage Neospace process. I literally depend on him 90% of the time, but like I said, there are other ways to facilitate the poly. And then the one Liquid Soldier, because yes, we are playing Absolute Zero, and how can you not pass up the draw 2 with him? It's literally amazing. The one Honest Neos, just because, like I said, with all the searching that we have, especially like summoning the Stratos or the E-Calls, definitely does not hurt to have that extra 2,500 points added to any Elemental Hero monster just to beat over your opponent or attack for game. Two regular Neos. I know a lot of people cut it to one. With the amount of hard polying that I do, or just dumping and fusing, I like to have two just because sometimes when you need it, it's in the graveyard or banished, and then sometimes you have it in your hand or you open with it. That's less searching that you have to do for the Cosmo Neos play. Yeah, it does come in clutch. And the two Spirit of Neos. I know a lot of people played at one. I like to play it at two just to see it better because the effect is so busted, especially if you have, Crosskeeper in hand, pitch it, special summon him, get his effect, yada yada yada. It just so good, literally so good. And speaking of Crosskeeper, we are playing three basically just so you can see him. Also, you can search him off of a Rhoda because he's a warrior. But like I said, the extra draw 2 and the special summon is just busted with this deck because you need all the draw power you can get. And then I'm just going to do this all in one. We're going to do the Neospatian lineup along with the Rainbow Dragon. Even though I know Rainbow Dragon's not a Neospatian, I just include it because pretty much you just dump him with the Neos Fusion to get out your Rainbow Neos. But for sure, you need to play at least 3 Neospatians, obviously, to get your Cosmo Neos out. I like to play multiples as far as, you've got your Nebula Neos, your Storm Neos, and etc., etc. Like I said, I'd rather have more options than hardly any. That way we can just keep going into that Cosmo Neos. And the deck doesn't fully rely on the Cosmo Neos, but it doesn't hurt, you know what I mean? Going into the spell cards, your pretty standard lineup. The one Rhoda, just to get, any hero, well, any level 4 or lower warrior, but either your heroes or the Crosskeeper, like I was saying. That's definitely the easiest way to search Crosskeeper if you have a good hand, but you're missing him, so you just help facilitate plays. D1 Miracle Fusion, obviously Sunrise can search it, and there's just so many cards you can use and abuse with this. Like, you can get the Shining Neos Wingman out, you can get like the regular Brave Neos, just any elemental hero that you need to summon, and the cards are on the field in the graveyard, this helps facilitate so many more plays. Gotta love it. And as I stated before, the 2 polys, just because, you know, we do a lot of hard fusing. Plus, you know, let's say you do the Blaze Man effect and you're happen to able to pull off the Engage Neospace, you can get another poly. Just the more the merrier, like I always say. Doesn't hurt. The 3 E-Call, obvious reasons. You know, like I said, you could search out, let's say you have everything set and you're ready to just dominate the field for this turn, or going for that OTK, but you need to get the Honest Neos or whatever you're missing to the puzzle. Boom, this will literally help you get whatever E-Hero you need straight to your hand and help you continue to win or whatever you need to do. Standard, in my opinion, the 3 hero lives. Like I said, if you open up with like the E-Call, the Solid Soldier, and this, plus whatever else, get that Stratos on the field, get your Searcher, and then normal summon the Solid Soldier, do the Prisma, and just get all those resources you need in your hand, graveyard, whatever, just so that you can get that Cosmo Neos. It definitely helps. And then 3 Neos fusions, kind of obvious. Like, let's just say you potentially brick or whatever, or you're just in a tough situation and your opponent's just got like a back row set, or they just got a unbeatable monster or whatever. Well, play this. If you have Rainbow Dragon in hand or in the deck still, like I said, this is why I play 2 regular Neos. You can just, from the deck, pitch them, summon it, set a card to remove their back row, or, well, shuffle it, not remove it. Or if you have a monster in field, send it to the graveyard and shuffle all their monsters back. Like, it, Rainbow Neos can come in clutch. And just because of the way my deck is, like with the ratios, just 2 E and shuffle, mainly because we can search it. It does come in clutch, especially like with all the tagging in and out. Sometimes you might just need to get a Neospatian on the field so that you can do, you know, your favorite contact play next turn, and this definitely comes in clutch. And again, just to, like, you know, I said ratios, the 2 instant contacts, it's pretty good. The main thing I use this for 90% of the time is for just to get the Flame Wingman out, just so that you can cheese out the Shining Neos Wingman. I mean, there's other cards you can do, just if you're trying to get the effects to pop off. Again, this is why I play the 2 normal Neoses. You got to have Neos on field or in the graveyard, so it just helps so that you can get their effect. Like if you need to just hurry up and cheese out Sunrise, boom, get his effect, get the Miracle Fusion, and just continue playing. The 2 E and Engage Neospace, again, just the 2 because of the way the ratios of the deck are. It helps, and then it helps also with siding too, because like I said, these are searchable, but sometimes the Engage Neospace can lock you out of certain things. Like you can't special summon after you've like played this, so make sure you do all your plays and facilitate it correctly, then do this. But like I said, if you got a pretty good hand, and even if this isn't your hand with that amazing hand, sometimes you kind of don't play it just because, you know, like I said, you can't do the link summon. It does hurt you. And then the last 2 cards of the deck, the trap cards, favorite contact, which soon will be very easy, more easy to access with the Flame Wingman. And I mean, it's busted. Like I said, I was playing 3, but like I said, due to ratios and the way that the side deck will possibly go, 2 just works perfect. Sometimes you open with it and you don't even have to search it, which is busted, but just in case, you know, like I said, it's searchable, so just 2. And moving on into the extra deck. For the Link monsters, we play the 1 Infernal Devicer. It is busted. Like I said, kind of know your plays in your head. Always think it through, because if you do the Engage Neospace, you cannot summon this, so it locks you out of that. But also, like I said, the Solid Soldier with the Prisma definitely helps. But remember, if you do the Prisma effect and copy a Neospatian, his name becomes a Neospatian, so you wouldn't be able to link this because you need 2 hero monsters. And Neospatians, unfortunately, aren't hero monsters. But that's why I said, if you got that a hero lives with the E-Call and Solid Soldier, summon out that Stratos, search, and then do the normal summon, Solid Soldier, Prisma, yada yada. It works. It's pretty good. The 1 Rainbow Neos, like I said, just in case your opponent's got you in a tough situation, you can summon it with the easy access of Neos Fusion and just cheese out your opponent's field, you know, shuffle it back into their deck, and this thing can definitely win you games. I mean, just look at that. It's a beater. And everyone's favorite, Cosmo Neos. I don't really think I need to say much more about him, except he can lock your opponent out on their turn. All they can really do is set cards, and then, like I said, just make sure you can OTK next turn, which, again, he can come in clutch just to help wipe your opponent's field, back row, etc., whatever you need, and then just boom. And the one shining Neos Wingman, like I said, this is kind of easier to summon out to, especially like if you've just got the right plays and the graveyard set up with Neos in it, and you've got the favorite, instant contact. Just hit 1,000, get out the Flame Wingman. Got Miracle Fusion from Sunriser, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to be getting the Sunrise out. You can do to utilize the Miracle Fusion search, and then, just like I said, easy access. Or you can even do the favorite contact, unless you, like I said, really rely on the Cosmo Neos. But I try not to just make the whole deck around Cosmo Neos. It's pretty much all the Neos cards and hero cards. The one Storm Neos, like I said, there's times where you might have like the Grand Mole with the Dark Panther in hand, and you're able to do the Infernal Devicer play. Reveal this, get your Air Hummingbird and your Aqua Dolphin, and you're ready next turn. Same thing goes with Nebula Neos. Not only to mention he is a pretty good card in his own, like with his own effect and whatnot, but you know, like I said, let's say you have the Aqua Dolphin or the Air Hummingbird in hand, do the Infernal Devicer, the effect, get the Grand Mole and the Dark Panther, and set up for next turn, or for your opponent's turn, I should say. The one Air Neos, sometimes this can actually come in clutch, like with the halving your life points because the hero lives, yada yada. Your opponent's got you down, it could be going into time. You hurry up and just play the Neos Fusion, cheese this out, he'll gain the difference in your life points from your opponent, and you can OTK with it. I've seen some crazy stuff go down with it. The Dark Panther, not Dark Panther, the Dark Neos, just because I like it. It's always been one of my favorites. I remember when this first came out, bought a box of Power of the Duelist and pulled him along with the Dark Panther, so it was just like meant to be. But he's got a pretty good effect. He can negate a monster's effect for I think 1 turn. But either way, like I said, if you just need like the one Neospatian to where you can just use Infernal Devicer to get the Neos and him, that works, because sometimes, you know, you don't have the Neos, but it happens. Grand Neos, same reason, just a badass card. Again, if you needed to get the Neos and or the Grand Mole, you can. Plus, he's got a pretty good effect himself. And then we played the 2 Brave Neos, mainly because like you can use Neos with Liquid Soldier, any of the Neospatians, any level 4 or lower effect monster to get him out, and he's got a pretty good effect too. You know, when he attacks a monster and destroys it, you can search a spell or trap card that mentions Elemental Hero Neos. So like, so you can get this if you need to, which sometimes you need to set up for the next turn. But I play 2 just because sometimes they're able to get rid of the 1, and then you're like, well, shoot, what am I going to do now? So 2 just to be safe. And then we do have a lot of light monsters, like Neos and a lot of other things are light, so I figured the Shining, plus if you're banishing, he gains an extra 300 attack for each of your banished heroes. Plus, if he's destroyed, you can target 2 of your banished cards and add them to your hand when he's destroyed, so it's kind of like a win-win with him. You want Absolute Zero, because Liquid Soldier, not to mention when he's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, wipes your opponent's monsters, so again, that's a win-win. And the Sunrise, obvious reasons, you know, your Miracle Fusion Searcher, and I know, like I said, a lot of your monsters are light, so like you might not get that much attack point like boost, but every little bit helps, honestly, especially with heroes. And if they go to attack any of your other hero monsters besides him, his effect will activate. You can destroy a card on the field, so you never know. It could be like a pesky field spell or whatever your opponent's got that's just like bugging you. And to wrap up the extra deck, the 1 Flame Wingman, which whenever we do get the new one, will more than likely be changed out for me because it's just got a busted effect. It helps you facilitate more plays, but for now, I'm still like happy with the regular Flame Wingman. He does the job. And now we're going to go into the side deck. Now, some of these options can change. Like I said, once I take this to my locals and actually see how it plays against like everybody's decks and whatnot, it might change. But for now, because I know like Bastilles and the Cashiers are going to be like the main thing, and a lot of people want to banish stuff, so, or target your graveyard, which we do somewhat rely on the graveyard now. Play 2 Ghost Bells. Like I said, 2 because the way that my ratios are set up in the deck already, to where I can easily just take out like one of the instant contacts, one of the engaged Neo space, because remember, they're still searchable by Spirited Neos or the Brave Neo. So I figured take one of each out to slide this in, just to like help you facilitate your graveyard, or you can even stop your opponent if they're graveyard heavy reliant. So it's a win-win. 3 Artifact Lancias. Basically, this is just to stop like from either player banishing, which I know that could hurt us potentially, but like some decks mainly rely on banishing or whatnot. So just to, stop them in their tracks. And like I said, the side deck can definitely change. I just got it for now just to see how it like works. And this is going to be kind of contradicting, but sometimes those other decks are graveyard reliant, and if you've already got everything you set up, this isn't bad just to side in and everything's going to be banished instead, kind of have that Dark Law effect, so to say. But yeah, I don't know, like I said, it's just some little tech right now, nothing set in stone. And then you got to be prepared for those crazy special summon decks. Nibiru, it's just, especially this format, like I know a lot of people have been sleeping on it. I've always had the Nibiru sided, because you never know, especially like with rogue decks. It's a win-win, like I always say. The one called by, just in case you got to side it in and stop some hand traps or something, because I will be honest, a few hand traps can stop this deck in its tracks, but it happens. But at the same time, just be prepared. And wrapping up the side deck, 3 Twin Twisters. Basically, like I said, if it's just back row reliant, you can at least pitch off some of your like dead cards or the Neospatians to get them to the graveyard and just help you keep going, because like there's some decks that just lock you in from doing stuff, so you never know. But that's pretty much just my thoughts. Like I said, the side deck could change by all means until I take it to locals and actually see what I need more of or what to change. But for now, this is what I'm rocking with, and I hope y'all enjoyed.